In today's video, I'll be showing you how to build this iron factory that makes over 1200 iron ingots per hour. And as a bonus, it has a shutoff system which you can activate manually, or it can detect when the vault is full of ingots and shut off the system itself. These are the items we'll be using in today's build. For this build, we'll need a 26 by 16 block foundation. We'll start by placing 2 blocks like this and back 10. We'll place mechanical drills on top of each of these 11 blocks here with one more on the end like this. We'll place encased chain drives on the backs of them so we can give them power. We'll place 3 copycat panels here. We'll place 12 more like this. We'll place 3 more here. We'll place 24 more like this. We'll place 2 shafts like this and connect them up with a mechanical belt. Then we'll right click on this shaft with a belt in our hand to extend the belt by 1 block. And we'll extend the belt by 1 block on this side as well. Now that we have the belt and all of the copycat panels to hold the liquids, we'll waterlog each mechanical drill. Then we'll place lava inside of each of these places in the top here. We'll place 2 shafts here and 2 encased chain drives like this. We'll place 1 block here with a shaft on top. We'll place 1 more shaft like this and connect these 2 up with a mechanical belt. We'll place back 2 more shafts, 2 encased chain drives. We'll place 12 more drives like this. We'll place back 3 more shafts. We'll place 1 block here with a shaft on top and connect up these 2 shafts with a belt. We'll place 2 more encased chain drives like this and 12 more to the side here. We'll place 1 block like this. Now we'll copy the same design with the mechanical drills, fluids, and copycat panels over to these other 2 belts. And make sure not to replace these 2 encased chain drives with copycat panels. Now we'll place 5 shafts like this. We'll connect up these 3 with a mechanical belt. We'll do the same thing here as well. And we'll do it over here. Next we'll place 7 blocks like this. We'll place 7 here and 7 more like this. We'll place 3 shafts here, and we'll connect up these shafts using mechanical belts. Now the reason we have a gap between these 2 belts is actually because belts can only be up to 20 blocks long, and where we need them is 21 blocks long, so we'll have to make a separate belt for the extra blocks. The reason we left this block empty is because whenever you have 2 belts right next to each other, when items go from the first belt onto the second one, there's a slight delay, but if the items jump from one belt into the air and land on the other belt, then there's no delay. And if we had that delay, all these drills would be drilling too much for the belts to handle, which would mean we would have cobblestone flying off the belts where we don't want them because there's no space on the belt for more cobblestone. Next we'll want to place a gearbox here, use the wrench to make it vertical, and put a cogwheel on top. We'll do the same thing over here and like this as well. Now we'll place 7 millstones here, another 7 like this, and 7 more here. And these millstones are what is going to be turning the cobblestone into gravel. Now on the side where the belt is, you'll want to have your input andesite funnels on the millstones like this. And you can use the wrench to change whether they're input or output. And then we'll put the output for the gravel on this side. And we'll do the same thing for all the other millstones. Now we'll place down an encased fan like this. We'll place 6 blocks around it here and 1 copycat panel in front. And then we'll place a water bucket in front of the fan to make sure it blows the water onto the gravel to turn it into flint and iron nuggets. Now to power this fan, we'll place 2 gearboxes like this, and we'll break this copycat panel and place 3 encased chain drives like this. And this will get the fan spinning the correct direction. We'll do the same thing over here. And we'll do the same thing over here, except right here we'll just place 1 panel. Now the next step is to build a vault to catch all the items, and to do that we'll place a 3x3 vault like this, and then we'll extend it back another 8 blocks here. Next we'll place an input funnel like this, and we'll use the list filter to only allow flint and iron nuggets into the vault, and then we'll set the brass funnel with the filter. We'll do the same thing here, and once more like this. Now once the gravel drops out of the millstones, the fan will push it into the funnel, and the gravel will eventually get turned into iron nuggets and flint, which will go into the vault. Next we'll need to turn the iron nuggets that are in the vault into iron ingots. To do that, we'll start by placing a mechanical belt like this. We'll place 1 brass funnel here with an iron nugget as the filter. We'll place 2 blocks like this. We'll place 3 shafts here and connect up these 2 using a belt. We'll place a basin here with a mechanical press on top. We'll place 1 andesite funnel for the input into the basin, and we'll filter this so it can only output iron ingots. Next we'll place a 2x2x2 block vault here to catch all the items, and we'll place an andesite funnel going into it like this. Now we'll place 2 chests in the ground here, and we'll place a chute on top with an andesite funnel like this, so any items in the vault will try to go into the chest. And once this chest fills up with ingots, this vault has another 10,000 items it can hold. Now to get power to the belts and the press, we'll place 1 cogwheel here. We'll place 3 encased chain drives like this, making sure this one is facing this direction. We'll place 6 encased chain drives here to connect up the conveyor belt to the press. And we'll connect the press and the conveyor belts up to this encased chain drive. Now to store the flint, we'll place a 2x2x4 block vault like this. We'll place an output brass funnel like this with a filter of flint, and we'll place an input andesite funnel into this vault. Now any flint that goes into the vault will get shot up here into this andesite funnel. Next we'll need to get power to all of this, and to do that we'll be using a level 4 steam engine, since that will produce just enough power to run the whole system. I'll leave a link in the description for a tutorial on how to build a steam engine that's bigger and will generate more stress units. But for this build we'll just need a level 4 one. To start, we'll place 4 blaze burners like this to heat up the water inside the fluid tank. Then we'll place a 2x2x4 block fluid tank here. We'll place 4 of the steam engine blocks like this and connect them up to shafts. Next we'll place 2 mechanical pumps here facing into the fluid tank with 3 fluid pipes like this. And at the base of the fluid pipe we'll make an infinite water source like this. For this steam engine we'll be using lava as our fuel source, so to do that we'll start by placing 3 item vaults here. Now we'll place a depot with a brass funnel above, filtered to only let iron buckets onto the depot. Now we'll put an input brass funnel filtered to a bucket, so once the mechanical arm puts the lava in the blaze burn, it'll have somewhere to put the bucket back. Next we'll break these 3 blocks and place 2 shafts here and connect them up with a belt. Now we'll place 1 output brass funnel filtered to only output empty buckets, and we'll place an input andesite funnel here. We'll place 1 spout like this to spout lava onto the empty bucket. Now we'll place 9 fluid pipes like this to catch lava from the cauldrons that we'll be getting from Dripstone. We'll place 8 cauldrons like this. We'll place 1 mechanical pump going into the spout here, and we'll place another 3 fluid pipes like this. Now we'll place 8 blocks above each of these cauldrons like this and place a pointed dripstone under each one. We'll place 2 more blocks here. We'll place copycat panels on each side to contain the lava. Now we'll fill in this entire area with lava. As you can see, all of these pointed dripstones are dripping lava slowly into the cauldron. Now we'll actually want to add a buffer for the lava, and to do that we can easily just place 2 fluid tanks here and replace this fluid pipe with a mechanical pump, making sure it's going into the fluid tank. This way it'll always have lava back up in the fluid tank for whenever it needs to refuel the burners. Next we'll connect up these 2 shafts with encased chain drives, and we'll place 1 gearbox here and a rotation speed controller above it with a large cogwheel on top. Now we'll place 2 cogwheels like this. Now we'll go and right click each of the blaze burners and this depot and this brass funnel here with the mechanical arm in your hand, and that will set the inputs and outputs. Just make sure this depot is outlined in blue so it'll take items from the depot rather than put items back. Once you have the 6 of those selected, you can place down the mechanical arm here and it'll save all of those inputs and outputs to the mechanical arm. Next, we'll connect up power from this mechanical arm to this mechanical pump using 2 cogwheels and 1 gearbox like this, and we'll rotate this vertically. Now we'll place 1 cogwheel like this, and we'll break out these 4 blocks here and replace them with gearboxes to connect the power up to this belt. Next, we'll place a cogwheel here with 3 encased chain drives behind, and we'll place 3 more encased chain drives behind that. Then we'll connect them up with a shaft. We'll place 1 more shaft here with a cogwheel behind to bring the power over to this mechanical pump. Now we'll connect up another encased chain drive to this. We'll place 1 shaft here with 2 gearboxes like this and rotate this one vertically. Then we'll place 1 clutch here, and then once we get the steam engine up to a full level 4, then we'll connect all of this up using a shaft. And what this clutch does is whenever you give it a redstone signal, it won't output rotational force to the other side. And that can be useful if you ever want to turn off all your machines. Now all you have to do is manually fill these 4 blaze burners just to start it up. Then place 1 lava bucket on here and put 1 empty bucket into the system like this. We'll temporarily remove this cogwheel so we can get the system started. Now all you have to do is place a hand crank here and start spinning it until it boots up, and after you've done that for a few seconds, quickly replace the hand crank with a shaft. Once this gets up to level 4, you can put this cogwheel back, and don't forget to flip this gearbox vertical here. Now as you can see, we have 1 lava bucket in the depot and 1 here as a buffer. Next we're going to build a system that detects how many items are in this vault, and when this vault fills up, it'll send a redstone signal over to this clutch and stop the whole system from running so you don't start overflowing. Now to do this, you'll first want to place a threshold switch looking down onto this vault. Now if you right click this threshold switch, you get this menu here. You'll want to scroll this into stacks instead of items. Then you'll want to hold shift and scroll this up to 160, and we'll want to scroll this one up to 159. Now what this will do is it'll detect whenever the vault has 160 stacks, which is the maximum the vault can hold, and when it does that, it'll set off a redstone signal. And if it has 159 stacks or less in the vault, it will not output that signal. Now click the check mark to set the settings. Now we'll place a redstone link on top of the threshold switch like this, and we'll put 1 on this clutch as well and set it to receiver with the wrench by right clicking it. Now we'll set the frequency with any items, and it doesn't matter which items you use as long as you're not using this on another redstone receiver. And you'll want to set the same frequency over here as well. Now once this threshold switch detects that the vault is full, it'll send a redstone signal to this redstone link, which will send a redstone signal over to this redstone link, and that'll shut off the clutch since it's powered. And we'll actually want to do the same thing over here for the flint, but instead of shutting off the system completely when the vault is full, we'll just drop the excess flint into lava. Now to do that, we'll place an output brass funnel here. We'll filter it to only take out flint, and we'll place a lava bucket below it. Now we'll put the threshold switch onto this vault. We'll set this to stacks. We'll scroll this side up to 320, and we'll scroll the bottom one up to 319. And we'll actually want to invert the signal so that whenever this gets 320 or above, it'll turn off the power, which means we'll be able to stop the brass funnel from working. Since a brass funnel can't output items or take them in if it has a redstone signal, we'll place a redstone link here. We'll set the frequency to anything you like, but in my case I'll set it to flint. And we'll make sure this is set to receiver. We'll place this redstone link on top and set it to the same frequency as the other one down there. And as you can see, this is on, and this little red part back here lit up. And that means this brass funnel can't output items right now. Now we'll actually want to keep this one from outputting items as well. And to do that, we can easily place one block here with a redstone torch on the side. You'll see that the funnel is closed up, but if we add a redstone link here and we set it to be the same frequency as this one, then we set it to receiver, it'll power this block, which turns off the redstone torch. So now this is free to go spit out items into this vault until it's full, and then once this is full, it'll take away this redstone signal from here, which will unpower this block and repower the redstone torch, so it'll lock up this funnel. Now we'll want to add a display board so that we can more easily see from one spot what the contents of the vaults and the chests are. To do that, we'll start by flipping this encased chain drive this direction. Then we'll place a cogwheel on here. Then we'll place 12 display boards like this, all connected up to the cogwheel since they need power to function. And something cool you can do with the display boards is you can actually use a clipboard and you can write anything you want in here, and then you can put that onto a line on a display board. So for the first line, I'll label it as Iron Ingot Vault. Once you've written on the clipboard what you want, just right click with it on the line and it'll put the text up there. And then directly below this, we can put the amount of items that are in the Iron Ingot Vault, which I'll show you how to do in just a minute. Now I have all three of these lines labeled, so I'm ready to put the number below of the amount of items in that actual respective storage spot. Now to show the amount of items in the vault, we'll first place a smart observer like this. Then we'll go over to the display board and right click with the display link in our hand, and then we'll place the actual display link on the smart observer like this. You'll see it says successfully bound to targeted position. Now whatever this observer sees in the vault, it'll send that number to this display link. Now we'll want to set this to amount of matching items by scrolling down to it, and we'll want to set this to line 2, then click done. And every time this little green orb on the display link blinks, that means it's sending the information over to the display board. As you can see, we don't have any items in the vault right now, so it's only sending 0. But if I go and manually put in some iron ingots, you'll see that this will change over to the correct number. And you'll see the number is going down because it's actually putting the items into the chest. Now we'll do the same thing with the chest using the smart observer and then linking up the display link over to the display board and then placing it on the observer. Then set it to amount of items and then set this to line 4. Now you can see it has 64 items in the iron ingot chest. And we'll do the same thing over here with the flint vault. We'll set this to amount of matching items and then line 6. And as you can see, there are currently no items in the vault, but once there are, it'll update that number. Now we'll want to add a manual shutoff to this system. And to do that, we'll place one block here with a lever on it, and we'll place a redstone link and we'll set this frequency to anything. We'll place another redstone link with the same frequency on the clutch and set it to receiver mode. Now if we flick this lever, you'll see that the clutch is turned on, so no power will go through. Now you'll want to set the rotation speed controller to 256 RPM clockwise, and the final thing to do is connect up the clutch to the encased chain drive and see if everything starts working properly. As you can see, the drills are drilling the stone, and all that cobblestone is getting inputted into the millstones. The millstones are turning all that cobblestone into gravel, which is getting washed into flint. And as you can see here, this observer is actually powering this brass funnel. Now, an easy fix to that is just to place the smart observer on top like this, and then set the display link over to this one and set it to the same settings as before. And that's why it's always good to test everything to make sure it works properly. As you can see, our flint vault is going up and our iron ingot chest is going up as well, and it should run forever or until the clutch stops it from working. This is the finished build. Don't forget to leave a comment down below with what you would like to see me build next, and while you're down there, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button, turn on notifications. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.